me. Congressman Schiff, to you first. You heard Nick's reporting there. So many experts on ISIS aren't even particularly, they don't know Abu Sayyaf all that well. It leads to the question of whether this is really who the Delta Force was going after. You were briefed, I believe, before this happened, before this operation happened. What were you told about the objective, and was this the guy they were trying to get?
Well, this is the guy that we were trying to get, but nonetheless, I think these are very important questions, and that is the only reason to take this kind of risk, and it was a very daring operation in the heart of ISIS-controlled territory, is either you can't launch a military strike from aircraft because of the risk of civilian casualties, or you think the intelligence value of what you're going to gain is sufficient to merit that kind of risk. Now, obviously, we had very good intelligence here. You can't do an operation like this without knowing that your target is there, what kind of security they have, what the premises looks like, and enough to know you have a backup plan if things go wrong. So our intelligence was good, but nonetheless, this was an extraordinary risk. If one of our people were captured, if we lost some of our special forces, there'd be tough questions to answer about whether it was worth it. And I think notwithstanding the success of this operation, we still are going to have to ask those questions. Was the intelligence value that we hope to gain and the fact that we are gaining worth this kind of risk? I don't think it signals a wholesale effort to mount lots of special operations efforts like we had in Afghanistan and Iraq. I don't think this is a major escalation, but it is a striking and risky success, and hats off to those that were involved.
Okay, so Congressman Schiff saying there, Congressman Zinke, that this doesn't signal perhaps a whole new era in how to approach ISIS in Syria, in Iraq. How do you see it as a former SEAL team commander at SEAL Team 6?
Well, first of all, Bravo, Zulu, Delta. You know, they're outstanding individuals, and this was a great operation. This is not the first time that we've been in Syria, and likely not the last time we'll be there. It doesn't change the overall background. We have no plan in Syria what to do overall. You have Ramadi on fire. You have in the eastern part of Iraq, you have Iranian forces, senior military leadership. I'm not sure how we're going to ever remove them from the territory of Iraq. And this is going to be an enormous problem for the president as well as the next president. What to do in Iraq, our policy of doing it from afar, especially in the territory of Iraq by air operations alone, is not working. It won't work. The Kurds are isolated, and the Sunnis now seen disenfranchised.
You served in Ramadi, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
I did. Fallujah and Ramadi. And
so what is it like looking at, I mean, depending on the hour, you're hearing Iraqi security forces having the upper hand over ISIS, but it's this back and forth that is going on.
Well, Ramadi's a fairly large city, about 900,000. It is enormously difficult in interior to do operations. They left the headquarters, and I think the headquarters more or less is symbolic. It doesn't lead to a greater plan of what to do about retaking Ramadi as a whole. When you have a script where it says we're just going to do air operations alone within the territory of Iraq, what happens is the forces then that we want to target will move their forces to co-locate with hospitals, schools, embed themselves to be very, very difficult to conduct air operations against. But this is what happens when you don't have an intelligence background, when you don't have embedded troops that can judge what targets are in, what targets are out. In the case of Syria, it was an isolated case. He was not in the top 10. So it's not going to change the tide and the stem of what's going on in Syria or Iraq or the Middle East. But it is enormously helpful, I think, and I applaud the administration for going after this individual and looking at operations in the future.
Congressman Schiff, it sounds like you're weighing whether enough was yielded in this operation, or you say that's certainly a question that's worth asking. But some reports coming from officials say there was information gleaned from how ISIS communicates, how they are funded, how they operate. Was this a great yield, or was this perhaps too risky?
Well, it was an important yield, and I don't want to understate the significance of the al-Qaeda leader, or I'm sorry, the ISIS leader, Abu Sayyaf. This was someone who was responsible for their oil and gas operations. There are some estimates that ISIL derives about $1.5 million a day from oil and gas sales. This is the best funded terror organization in history, and drying up those resources, disrupting that organization, is an important objective. Now, notwithstanding his death, we captured his wife, and she may have a great intelligence value as well. There are reasons to believe that she was active in ISIL operations in her own right. And of course, the materials, both electronic and otherwise, that have been seized could present a great value. But I think when things go well, you don't often tend to question them as much. And I think before we see or embark on a lot more of these kind of operations, we have to weigh the risk of escalation. I mean, you can imagine what would have happened if one of our people were captured. We'd go to move heaven and earth to get them back, and the risk of escalation becomes that much greater. So we'll see what kind of intelligence trove we got. I agree with my colleague that the extraordinary work of our Delta forces needs to be applauded unequivocally, but I do think we have some hard questions that we need answered here.